What's good? Alright, another wise tale for you. I'm going to tell y'all my experiences on the first SBDC. First SBDC, I will say, was a very big learning experience for me. I actually had a lot of fun at the particular time. I had created a group called Seaport Crump Kings. And at that time, it was comprised of myself, had my boy G in it, had my boy Hollywood, who's also aka Little Lycan. Also had my boy Earth Creep in it. Unfortunately, he didn't perform with us. And at that time where we actually got on the SBDC, that's when we also met up with my boy J Punt. With that, I will say, we went to the audition. We didn't really have a routine put together and whatnot, but we had gotten off, we had gotten in, and started hitting up practices. Practices and whatnot were actually kind of interesting. The reason why is because, first off, I had never really worked with a professional dancer or choreographer of that particular style and nature. So, while I was out there, learning the routine coming off of Lady Mahogany and whatnot, I was doing a lot of learning. She, not only is professional and whatnot, but she's very skillful. On top of that, very attractive lady, very attractive lady in person, and very professional, and just a great person to be around. Because, to be honest with you, if you're not smiling by the end of a conversation with Lady Mahogany, then honestly, I would have to say you're kind of messed up inside, because she's that type of fun-loving person and whatnot. And I would definitely work with her again. That's just hands down. I would definitely work with Lady Mahogany again. Though during the SBDC, there was an unfortunate incident that involves me. Well, I can't say unfortunate incident because it's not as big as I'm telling. But basically, had a portion of the opener where, me and others, we're doing this routine where the females would, get on all fours and act like a dog. And the guys had to walk the dog, right? So, the females, they're on all fours, they're swishing their hand, they're rocking their behind and left and right and whatnot. Well, on the particular day when we were practicing this, the ladies were pissing, Lady Mahogany off. So Lady Mahogany was like, "Hey, get out of the way. I'm going to show y'all how it's done." And she gets in front of me. I'm like, trying to be professional at the time and not look. And at the same time, I'm sitting there like, oh my God, I can't do this. I literally can't do this. I didn't want to mess up because of the fact that we were practicing the routine, but I didn't want to look is because I didn't want to disrespect her, but she looks good. On top of that, respects to Lady Mahogany and whatnot, because unfortunately I wasn't around when you got married. I wasn't around, when you had the little one and whatnot. I do pay attention to your posts, and I'm very supportive of everything you got going on. So best wishes to you and whatnot. But back to the story and whatnot. So so she's practicing this routine and everything. I'm doing everything I can do not to mess up and be a typical male. It was not easy. Trust, it was not easy. But from that aspect and whatnot, a couple weeks go by, everybody gets better, everybody gets more proficient in their skills and whatnot. And then upon the day we were actually supposed to perform the SBDC, already, like, Seaport Crump Kings, we were having a bad day. We were seriously having a bad day. We almost caught a ticket on the way there. People weren't showing up on time, whatnot. So that day for us started out just bad. Then on top of that, okay, we've arrived at the show and whatnot, and we're getting ready to perform. Lady Mahogany comes up and she's like telling everybody how, you know, she been getting random people hitting her up talking about they hate on her because, you know, they ain't in the show. I'm sitting there like, huh? And then she's like, well, they didn't show up to the audition, they didn't show up to the second audition, they didn't show up to the practices, so why should we put them in the show? And we're all sitting there like, hey, you got a point. So the show's going on and whatnot, and how I naturally am, especially when it goes to like shows, performances, or just important things that either can be filmed, documented, or just in crowds of people and whatnot, I tend to get the jitters early. So I winded up with the jitters and whatnot, and I'm all over the place trying to sit down, trying not to fidget and whatever and whatnot. And then as soon as I break out of my fidgety mode, you know, I'm psyched in, I'm ready to freaking, you know, get it and whatever, whatnot. That's when Hollywood starts tripping. And I'm sitting here like, hold up, how's it gonna go from me to him? So, we get on stage, right, and we perform our routine. We end up having two different problems. And the reason why we had two different problems was majorly, and it's only coming from, like, certain aspects. Hollywood, he was rushing the routine, you know, but he still pulled off the routine. He had all the right moves, he just was not on time with the beat. He was going too fast. And Kaze, she was supposed to be filming, but she wasn't paying attention to what she was filming. She was filming like half the stage. And I'm like, okay. So, you know, Seaport Crump Kings went up against Unrated Crew for the finals and whatnot. Unfortunately, Seaport Crump Kings lost. We lost majorly is because we didn't have a battle routine. And the battle routine that Unrated had, honestly, we weren't impressed. But because, you know, at the end they threw cereal at us and whatnot, you know, because of that Raz at the end and whatnot, that's, you know, that's pretty much why, you know, they got us. Because dancing-wise, they did not outdance us. You know, too many of their crew members were actually messing up during their battles routine and whatnot. But yeah, because they had antics and pranks and whatnot, that's the reason why they won. And, you know, I have no hate towards anybody from Unrated Crew, you know, bocking them. They're amazing dancers. Granted that they don't have too many that are of my dance style, which, you know, they do have crumpers, but, you know, you're talking to one of the best crumpers that hit Savannah streets. And that's going to be forever. Because on top of that, I was one of the first to bring crump to the streets of Savannah. That is set in stone forever. So, you know, after the show and whatnot, went to the after battle. I will say this, you know, Bach, my boy Hollywood, they got their battles on and whatnot, and Hollywood just ate this fake Hollywood that they had in Unrated Crew. I mean, he just literally ate him. And the reason why I say that is because the fundamentals of this boy were not there. He couldn't even spell a chest pop. My Hollywood, aka Lil Lycan and whatnot, he was ripping this dude. He was just straight ripping this dude. You know, towards the SBDC and whatnot, I hope that it's still going. I would like to come down one day and judge, you know, one of the future SBDCs. But on top of that, as well, after session, if I go to an after session after SBDC, somebody is going to battle me. I don't care if it's win or lose, whatever. Somebody is going to battle me, because last time nobody battled me, and I was a little irritated with that. Because I'm sitting there like, how you going to talk all this mess and nobody wants to battle me? I don't like that at all. So, but I had a good time. And towards anybody that wants to get into, like, I'm not going to say professional programs, or just programs where, you know, they're doing stuff like that and whatnot, I mean, you gotta keep your ear to the ground. Like I was told about the SBDC through several people and whatnot. And to be honest with you, we almost didn't make it. You know, it's not because we weren't skillful enough. It's just timing. You know, you gotta pay attention. You gotta pay attention to what's going on around you, because there's always something going on around you. You just gotta be a part of life. And to the other crews that didn't make it to the SBDC and whatnot, I'm not gonna say you're whack or you're sorry or whatever whatnot. But those that actually do stuff, those that actually put out stuff, were the ones that got quartered on first. To be honest with y'all, with the crews that did show up that weren't on the SBDC and whatnot, the top 3 crews were seen at the first practice. The crumpers, the jerkers, and the b-boarders. Now, I'm not saying that the females, you know, couldn't beat us or whatever and whatnot, but what I'm saying is that we were more prepared than they were. And the reason why we were more prepared than they were is because, unfortunately, the females really didn't live all together and whatnot, so they couldn't really practice the way they wanted to. But, you know, hands down, you know, they did a good job and whatnot. And with some more, you know, practice and time together and whatnot, they could have won the competition. So I'm not going to doubt nobody from the first one. And if anybody didn't make it to the SBDC, you know, actually in the show and whatnot, you know, well, you can't hate on those that are in the show. You know, we put on the show, and it was what it was. If you made it to the next one or whatever and whatnot, you know, good on you. But, you know, history is history, and that was history. So, alright, until next time, y'all. 1.